camera speed. YouTube friends, what's going on? David Lee back with a brand new video, and today we are talking about the SLR Magic 50mm f1.1 and why exactly it is magical. Now you might be a bit skeptical if you've already seen some of the reviews on the SLR Magic 50mm, as they're not that great. And truth be told, I do agree with all the points that pretty much all the reviewers have been saying about the this little lens here, and because it suffers from chromatic aberration. There's distortion, not a lot of it, but there is distortion. There's a good amount of vignetting. It suffers from coma. There's like no resistance at all to flares, to ghosting. So with all that being said, you might figure this is probably not a good lens like at all for anyone, whether that be photography or for filmmaking. And for a lens, it's only $294. You can even find it cheaper like I did. I found mine used off of B&H for about $199, and then plus tax, it was like $206. And before I bought it, I already saw the images coming out of the 35mm and the 75mm variations. And being able to open up your aperture to f1.1, there aren't a lot of lenses that can even get down to f1.1, f1.2. So if you're looking for a more organic and a more softer looking image, or maybe a more dreamier looking image, then the 50mm f1.1 from SLR Magic is definitely a lens you should consider. Now for photographers, luckily Lightroom Now has profiles for a couple of the SLR Magic lenses and also the 50mm 1.1. Now if you transfer it over to filmmakers, we have a bit of a problem because you can't really get rid of any of those things. I mean, you can play around with vignetting and distortion effects if you're using After Effects or whatever kind of software you have, but you may not even want to have to do that at all, right? You should be able to have a lens that you can control vignetting and distortion, so that way you can focus more on the editing and putting the creative together. But with all of the quarks aside, this lens offers something that I haven't been able to find unless I was using vintage lenses, like from like the 80s or the 70s. And those lenses obviously do have like chromatic aberration and vignetting, all those characteristics that modern lenses have pretty much taken all out. But it's very difficult to mimic a higher end cinema camera like a Alexa that just offers a certain look to it. It's very hard to recreate that with modern lenses and also smaller form factor cameras like the Sony A7R Mark II, which is what I use. And this lens, much like vintage lenses, has this natural haze to it, so it creates a more organic, a more filmic look, like a very dreamy, very soft look. You know, that may not be something that you want if you're shooting like say like an action movie or possibly a comedy movie, but it's great if you're shooting documentaries or more drama driven narratives. It's a very small lens. It's a very, my camera can focus on this. Dual pixel autofocus, there we go. One reason why I love it. This lens is very small. It's very, very lightweight, which means if you put it in your backpack or whatever you have, it's not going to take up a lot of room and it's not going to weigh you down. This lens also comes in a 52mm filter thread, so it's very easy to use cheap step-up rings if you have like 77, 72 or 82mm ND filters or polarizers. You can easily slap those on top and you'll be good to go. So in the end, is this lens comparable to modern lenses that might be more up your alley? Say like a Zeiss 50mm f1.4 or a Sigma 50mm f1.4, which is one of my favorite lenses. I say if you need autofocus, then definitely this is not the lens at all. But the reason why I like the SLR Magic lens over the Sigma or the Zeiss lenses is because it mimics the vintage lenses that have this, I don't know how to explain it, but the word organic and the word filmic come to mind. And unless I'm using something like a haze filter in post or having to composite a bunch of different things in After Effects, if I can get it in camera, then why not get it in camera? So a very small package for $294. I think this very much is a magical lens. And if SLR Magic ever made a like a 135mm f1.4, I think I definitely get that as well too. So there you have it, my friends, my small and short review on the SLR Magic 50mm f1.1. So I hope you guys found it useful, and I hope you guys might consider taking a look at the SLR Magic lenses, as best bang for buck. It's really hard to find lenses that can go down to f1.4 and below. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Be more than happy to answer them for you. I know it's been a while for, at least for my subscribers, that I've uploaded a video, just because I've been crazy busy with new clients, commercials, and all that fun stuff. But I hope to be able to get more videos out in the next couple of weeks as things start to progress in my life, and YouTube life, and life itself. So if you haven't subscribed already to my channel, you might consider that. Subscribe down below, like the video if you liked it, leave a comment as always, and remember friends, every day you have an opportunity to create your experience and to write and tell your own story. My name is David Lee. I will catch you guys in the next video.